All right, we are doing something a little bit different today. I'm going to be watching some videos. I'm going to tell you ahead of time. Some of these are a little disturbing, but you've probably already seen them about 100 times all over the news. Going to be watching some of the stuff that ICE has been doing lately, and I'm going to tell you my honest opinion as a defense attorney. Is it defensible or not?
About 2 minutes before the shooting, Alex Pretti is seen arguing with officers. One officer pushes him back, and an individual is detained as Pretti's argument with officers continues. Pretti, holding a cell phone, was allegedly there as an observer to document what was happening.
So I've got to say, first off, I haven't seen these 100 times. I don't hop on X. I don't very much. I know I've got a page on there, but I don't get on there very often. I'm not a big news watcher. I do read the news, and I have read about this, but this is actually one of my first times seeing this video. So like some people, I might be seeing it for the first time. Definitely don't have it memorized like a lot of the people out there. But my first reaction is, number one, Mr. Pretti is holding a cell phone. His other hand appears to be either empty or just not doing anything. I can't really see what at this particular angle. But you are allowed to record police officers. You're allowed to record anyone in public. And it looks like they just don't like the fact that they're being recorded. One of the officers approaches him, apparently just not liking the fact that they're being recorded. Okay. On the other hand, one other shot that we had there looked like Mr. Pretti was walking toward the officers as they were doing something with another person. I don't know what the something is, but it looks like he was walking toward them. If you're too close and you're actually interfering with an investigation, then they could have some cause to detain you or anything like that. If you're going to record something, you gotta be far away. It doesn't have to be like 1,000 feet or anything crazy like that, but you can't be right there in their space. Otherwise, we're giving them an argument. Okay, let's see what else we have here.
About a minute later, Pretti is seen standing in the street, filming, directing a car past him. An officer then approaches another apparent observer and pushes her. She moves to Pretti and holds him by the waist, and the officer approaches and pushes Pretti. A second woman walks over. The officer pushes her to the ground.
Okay, all the pushing, I don't know what was being said, I don't know what's going on, but that woman looked like she was being peaceful, and then she gets pushed by an officer. As far as I know, I was a corrections officer. I wasn't ICE, I wasn't a police officer. I don't know what training they get, but I can tell you, we didn't really have a push as part of our self-defense curriculum. I don't think that that's what was going on here. It looks like this officer just got pissed off. So not looking good so far.
Her to the ground, then sprays Pretti with a chemical irritant. Pretti raises his hands to block the spray. Pretti and the first woman then move to assist the woman who is knocked down, and the officer continues to spray. Several more officers are...
Okay, we had chemical agents in the Department of Corrections. I can't see anything there that justified deploying chemical agents. So even that, now that is what we would call very low on the use of force continuum. Or in other words, just being present is kind of step one and chemical agents is step two. It's before even physical force. So it's lower than the push that we saw just a second ago. So, it's very low. So he wouldn't have to have as much justification for using the chemical agent. But again, it looked like the lady was being peaceful. It looked like Mr. Pretti was just, he had his arm around her. I don't know what words are being exchanged. I don't know if they were trying to make an arrest. I'm not so sure. So that one, I can tell you, I wouldn't have deployed chemical agents in that situation.
Several more officers arrive and drag Pretti onto the ground. An officer in gray reaches into the struggle and comes out holding a gun that appears to match a photo of a gun released by the Department of Homeland Security.
Okay, and so I know that one of the arguments that's out there is that this was a self-defense situation because Mr. Pretti was armed. He was open carrying, which can be legal in Minnesota. Looked it up. Minnesota does allow for open carry if you have the right permits for it. I believe in constitutional carry, but that's a completely different episode, so we're not talking about that today. But it can be legal, and from what I have read elsewhere, he was legally carrying that firearm under Minnesota law. Unless he's carrying another deadly weapon, at this point, I can't think of what the justification for the shooting would be. Yes, is there deadly force that you could do without a weapon? Was he like swinging for the throat or grabbing for the throat of ICE agents or something like that? That could be an argument. I'm not sure. I don't see that in the video, but you can't see a lot in the video. There's people all around him. And again, I'm a defense attorney, so I am thinking of it from a defense attorney's perspective. Could I defend these ICE agents in this situation is basically the answer, or the question that I'm trying to answer. So far, it would be really difficult to do, especially with the fact that that gun came out of the scuffle apparently before the shots were fired.
Security. In this video, obtained by CBS News, you can clearly see the gun being removed from Pretti's waist by the officer. The first shot is fired about 1 second later. Slowed to a quarter speed, you can see and hear how quickly the shot follows the gun's removal. In another angle, you can see an agent watch as the gun is removed from Pretti's waistband before the agent pulls his own gun and fires at the kneeling Pretti.
Yikes.
The officers move away from Pretti as it leaves.
Okay, he's kneeling. It would be really difficult to come up with some type of deadly force that he could have threatened against the officers there to say that that is defense, self-defense. Typically speaking, officers are supposed to get the same sort of leeway or self-defense justification that you and I get. If their life is threatened, they can use deadly force. I think that's fair. But I don't see how his life was being threatened in this situation. I'm not seeing that at all. I've heard that there's an investigation going. I've heard that ICE is saying, or DHS is saying that it was part of DHS official business and that it was defense. I cannot see how they could possibly say that in this moment.
Pretti, as at least one of them continues to fire. Pretti does not appear to be moving. Around 10 shots are fired in total by law enforcement. After approximately 4...
Okay, now I'm going to say something in the opposite direction, and some people are going to hate this. Okay, sorry, I got to tell you what I think. There's going to be a ton of people that say 10 shots against an unarmed man. Well, 1 shot against an unarmed man to me is too much, but the amount of them, 10, officers are not trained to fire 1 shot and stop and go, hey, did that stop him? And then go back to shooting. Okay, if it didn't. They're trained to stop the threat. Okay, 10 shots in that situation, especially if they came from different officers. I don't know how many officers were firing at this point, but let's say there were 3 shots from 2 of them and 4 shots from 1 of them. That actually is not a lot of shots fired in a situation like that. So I know there's going to be people that hate that, but you know what? Based on their training, the way that they get it today, and based on things that you and I would do if we were trying to defend ourselves, we wouldn't fire 1 shot and stop and say, did it work? Okay, so I don't think the first shot was justified, so maybe all of that analysis is totally unnecessary. Another video here, this was from an independent journalist again in Minneapolis. Today we found out that ICE is actually in my home city of Phoenix, and so I guess we'll have more on that later on, but this is still going into the stuff that's happening in Minneapolis right now.
You have a federal officer that just used... I'm independent media. I'm independent media. You have a federal officer that is engaging with the demonstrators now. He appears to fire a less lethal round at the chest of one person to try to clear the front. You have fire department showing up now, ambulance now, and these the entrance still flooded with debris here from what was left over of the scene earlier. There's going to be under arrest. Okay, we got to go. Press. We're alerted to a demonstration that happened about an hour ago or so, and what's unfolded here was another tense situation here tonight in the Twin Cities. You had activists who had staged in front of a hotel that was being used by federal immigration officers. Some clashes happened. They encroached on the front lobby. They were pushed out. A perimeter was established. After that...
All right, I've got to say something about that right there. I'm going to say it regardless of what side it's for or against or any of that. In this case, those demonstrators, if they're on the sidewalk, they've got a right to be on a public sidewalk, right? You don't have a right to block a business or anything like that. And then as soon as he said, they encroached on the lobby and then were pushed back. So they were going into a private business, and it's a hotel, which to me, if people are sort of pushing their way into a hotel, at least threatening sort of a raid on the hotel, that's a very threatening situation. So I wouldn't be surprised with ICE having some action here. You could see, as he pointed out, the debris and stuff going into the hotel lobby. So yeah, I mean, look, if I was in that hotel, I'd feel threatened. Okay, if somebody's coming into the hotel where I'm trying to sleep or whatever, I would feel threatened. So in this case, so far, I'm going, all right, I get some action being taken here.
There seemed to be, things kind of died down for a little bit. Graffiti was put up. Things kind of died down for a little bit until they didn't. Oh my God, look at this. Coming in with the MRAP. They're coming in with more. Okay, they're coming in with more reinforcements, and they're now pushing people out. Flashbangs now are deployed. Press, press, press. Okay, press. There's a big unit. Press, press.
Okay, I obviously can't see everything that's happening, but it does look like he is correct. It does look like they're throwing flashbangs. I was on the tactical unit when I was out at Lewis Prison, not for very long, but I was there, and while I was training, we did throw flashbangs a couple times. That does look like what they've got here. The big comment here is I can't see a single reason to deploy a flashbang in this case. All I'm seeing in this video is people holding cameras. Now look, there could be something. You got these trucks up here, they're blocking the view. A flashbang went off on the other side of this white truck in the front. So hey, could something have been happening there off camera that I can't see? Absolutely, it could be. What we can see, I can't see a single justification for throwing a flashbang at this point.
Unpress! 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 We're press! Come on, man. Okay. You have now large vehicles now, what appear to be unmarked federal vehicles. Press, unpress. You have police department now that have shown up. Press. Okay, we're leaving. They're saying everybody that's here is going to be under arrest. Okay, we got to go. Press, press, press.
Wow, that flashbang looked like it went off pretty close to him. And I still can't see any reason for deploying a flashbang at this point.
Press, 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 press.
This is a lawful order from the Minneapolis Police Department. You're under arrest.
Press, press, press.
It's a lawful order from the Minneapolis Police Department. You are all under arrest. I can't see a reason for arresting anyone at this point. Yet there was something that happened earlier, but it's done. And we don't even know if these people are involved. And as far as I can see, all of this is public property. They're on sidewalks and roads, and it doesn't look like they're obstructing the flow of traffic. It doesn't even look like traffic is moving through here. I can't think of a single reason that they're saying you're disobeying a lawful order from the Minneapolis Police Department, but I can't think why that would be a lawful order.
Press, 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 press.
This is a lawful order from the Minneapolis Police Department. You're under arrest.
Press, press, press. I'm an independent journalist. We have had quite a moment unfold in front of us here. More clashes between demonstrators tonight and those federal officers. Activists caught wind of where they were staying at a hotel in the Twin Cities. They came out, they demonstrated a noise demonstration. They got into it with they got into it with them in the lobby, sort of back and forth, just jarring a little bit, no physical violence until they started, the feds showed up and launched those gas canisters. Holy shit, guys. Okay.
Wow.
Reporting live here from the Twin Cities. I'm Nick Valencia.
I'm at a loss for words.
What an evening here.
Feels like that's not the United States I grew up in, but I mean, maybe it is, maybe it has been, and we just haven't seen it as much. Maybe we're not getting the whole story. Maybe we're getting a whole bunch of edited videos that don't tell the whole story. I don't know. I'm not there. But I'm going to tell you right now what I can see on the videos, which is all the information that I can actually gather. I'm not going to rely on other media sources saying, oh, well, this is actually the case. Well, if it's the case, show it to me. Show me some evidence. I'm an attorney. I'm not just somebody reading your paper. I want to know what actually happened, and I want you to prove it. I want you to back it up. The best things that they can back up here are these videos, and what I'm seeing on these videos is just blowing my mind how this is happening in our country. Okay, last set of videos I want to have a look at might be the most infamous at this point. This is about Renee Good. This one, I think, was the one that they were saying, oh yeah, you can see that she is trying to run over the ICE agent. And if I'm being honest, in this angle, this video, I could get there. I'm a defense attorney. If I'm defending that ICE agent, I could get there. I could say, yeah, that vehicle does look like it's traveling in his general direction. There's been a lot of other videos that came out after this one.
No! No! Shit!
Okay, this one I think tells another story. That vehicle does not look like it's traveling toward that ICE agent. Is it traveling in his general direction? Yeah, and I think you can see that he has to take a step back, a single step back. Why you would still at this point shoot when you're out of harm's way with a single step, I have no idea. To me, when you slow this one down, it looks like at the moment he reached for his weapon, the vehicle might have still appeared to be traveling toward him. At the moment he raised his weapon and fired, I don't think that was the case in the slightest bit. If I'm putting myself and saying, okay, not police, forget about it. Remove police, remove citizen, and just two people. Two people in this situation. And as I reach for my firearm, a vehicle is traveling in my general direction. I'm still responsible for when I actually pulled the trigger. I just can't figure out what the hell is going on in this country. I'm not at a loss for words very much, but I'm at a loss for words here. Guys, I got to tell you the first thing. Yeah, I'm a defense attorney and I'm reviewing very limited evidence here. If I was actually taking these cases to trial or any court hearing whatsoever, I would want to see a whole lot more than this. I would want to see every single body cam. I would want it slowed down. I would put it in front of one of my video analyzer guys and have certain things analyzed and enhanced so that we could see them better. I would dive a whole lot deeper. And the reason that I say that is that sometimes we see a video and we go, oh my gosh, clearly we know exactly what happened. I'm going to tell you two things. Number one, the victims of both of these, or the people who were shot, their families, my heart goes out to you. I just hope that we're all praying for peace right now and praying for our country. We need it. We clearly need it. Whether it doesn't matter which side of this you're on, we all want this to come to a peaceful conclusion. So I hope that we're all thinking about that, praying for that, moving toward that, and I'll see you next time.